Hello and welcome to Millionaires Are Made, a show where we believe you can be a millionaire. 6 aspects of health. Right, every week we share tips on how to improve your mental, social, spiritual, intellectual, obviously your financial, and your physical health. Today, focusing on how to improve with sleep. Ooh, that's a good one. I bet you everyone watching does not sleep enough. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is a show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. We here at Millionaires Are Made are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all 6 aspects of life. So we went out and got 3 awesome guests to give us 3 awesome tips on how to improve our physical health with sleep. And in the spirit of authenticity, to remove as much bias as possible, we do not talk about our tips or advice backstage. And so when our guests come on and share their advice, it will be our first time hearing them as well, to keep it as real as possible with no bias. Audience, if you are watching this, please leave comments and ask questions because we respond to them and answer them live on air. We love to put our guests a little bit on the hot seat. So if you have a question, just type it in one of our chats and we'll ask it live. Real quick, we're going to shout out some of our followers. One of my favorite parts because I get to practice names I don't know. On Facebook, Eliana Smith, you are amazing. Instagram, Carlos Canache, you're freaking amazing. TikTok, Nikki DeAngelis, and on YouTube, Jay Hugh. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you so much. Guests, well, as you know, we have a mission to get like 8 billion people on the show, and you are one of them. We would love to have you on the show. We're dropping a link right now. Come, please, be a guest. Come hang out with us and share some of your knowledge. If you have a topic that you don't think we've covered well enough or want us to cover again with 3 different guests, let us know. We're dropping the link for that too. We always need topic ideas. Anything and everything is included since we cover all 6 aspects of health. So let us know. If you like what we do, there's a lot of ways to support us. We love sharing info, but first things first, it's 2025. Give us a little like, give us a little subscribe, send some stars, share. I think that's all there is. Like, star, share, comment, maybe a little heart. I don't know. Show some love to us. Another way is our merchandise. We're dropping that link right now. Grab a shirt, grab a hat, spread the word. Let's make the world a better place. Whew. 2 awesome announcements coming up. Let's go with Billionaires Are Made. Our next series in our show is coming soon. January of 2026, in about 2 months, we will be launching our entire year series of Billionaires Are Made, where we take all the knowledge and all the guests from Millionaires Are Made and step it up to another notch. So you will be seeing lots of promotion about that, and our full guest lineup for 2026 coming out soon. Yippee-ki-yay. Next announcement is free growth sessions. I love to help. If you want to have a one-on-one with me with consulting, I'm dropping that link right now. It would be fantastic to hang out with you and see if I can help you grow. And before we pull out our guests, we now have to go through our sponsors. Thank you so much. First sponsor is Sarah Jones. Sarah was buried in debt in an unhappy, failing marriage and eventually wiped it all clean. Now Sarah and her husband travel the U.S. in like a 3,000-foot RV with 100 toys attached, and they go around and they're financial coaches that guide couples, individuals, and small businesses to build fun, healthy money habits. Go check Sarah out right now. Next sponsor is Biz by Right. The matchmaking service for people who love buying and selling businesses. They find cash flowing deals, vet them with AI wizardry, and connect buyers and sellers faster than you can say due diligence. Go check out bizbyright.com. Our next sponsor is Brian Parana, also is on this episode. Heck yeah. He founded the Call to Rise, the ultimate 100-day fat loss challenge for men 40 plus. Go ahead and drop 20 to 30 pounds, skyrocket your energy, and transform your body with personalized nutrition and strength training. Join a brotherhood of unstoppable men. Start crushing it today. And our final sponsor is Brian Wright, who is the go-to guy for publishing your book and getting help with that. He also throws the Ultimate Achievers magazine, where you can get your brand in front of high-level entrepreneurs and personal growth leaders. Ultimate Achievers, where industry icons meet a content-first audience. All right, let's bring out our first guest here. Our first guest is going to be Coach Brian Piranha. Brian, tell us, who are you?
Hey, welcome. Thanks for having me yet again. I appreciate all this. I am Coach Brian Piranha. I have been in the health, nutrition, fitness industry for the last 23 years, my whole career. And as he mentioned earlier, I help men in their 40s avoid a midlife crisis, get their health back, because that's what really matters, especially if you got the house, the cars, the toys, all this stuff, and you got a big belly. It's not going to go really well. So I hope people get rid of the belly and get their body to match other areas of their life. Short but sweet. On the other end, I am married to my high school sweetheart. We have 4 kids together, 2 in high school, 2 in middle school, and we travel all the U.S. and we're working on traveling the world as well. 3 continents down. We're working on all 7. So there you go.
I love it. All right, Brian, I've got a question for you. If I wanted to improve my physical health with sleep, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Yes. Do not hit the snooze button. For just a physiological situation, you hit the snooze button, it causes this stir in your body. Then you hit it and you fall back to sleep into really just low quality sleep. And then you do it again. The snooze button wakes you up. But also, even more on a psychological, not beyond the physiological response, is that you wake up and you are making a decision against yourself. You're starting your day off saying, that decision that I made last night to set my alarm at this time to wake up and get the day going, no, I'm not going to do that. What a great way, sarcasm, heavy sarcasm there, to start your day off of doing something against your own choices and behaviors and all.
Yeah, disagreeing with yourself the night before. Brian, where in your life journey did you learn this piece of advice?
Through thousands of conversations talking with me. I literally had a conversation last night texting with a gentleman, Martin. He's out in California. He said, how do I wake up early? And I just started working my way back. I said, well, when are you waking up? And then what are you doing the night before? And he's staying up too late, tooling around, doing nonsense, nothing productive. We actually got him to bed about 2 hours earlier than he did the night prior. He got up and he went to the gym and he felt more productive and he was on point and he is ready for the day. So I literally have this as an ongoing conversation with people to get them more organized, structured, especially around sleep, because even in my world, if someone doesn't get enough sleep, especially 6 hours or less, it's going to be way harder for them to lose fat, period. They're up longer. There's more physiological and psychological stress on their bodies and they're not resting.
Brilliant. Brian, thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next guest, and we'll bring you out to our round robin.
Wonderful.
Next up, we have Rose. Rose, tell us, who are you?
First of all, thank you, Austin, for having me back. Super excited to be here. I am a speaker, a coach, and an author. So last year I did a challenge, 100 Purpose Stories in 100 Days. I've created that into a podcast.
Did you complete
it? Now I help coaches.
What's that? It?
Yes. Yes, I did. I went to the ends of the earth to complete that challenge. And I didn't record all of them, but the ones that I did record, I've just started to release them about a month ago. So I'm excited to, I already shared yours and many other guests, and I'm continuing to record some. So, setting a challenge and completing it, that was an accomplishment in itself. But I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and now I help other coaches to start off in coaching or to scale their offers. And I help them celebrate their purpose story, and just celebrate really big.
Awesome. I love it so much, Rose. Rose, tell us, I have an important question. If I wanted to improve my physical health with sleep, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
I'm going to be the most unpopular tip here today, because this is actually health and also sleep. This is to cut out coffee.
I just got
And
sad. I
the
looked at my
reason
coffee cup and it was empty, and I just got sad.
the reason why, and this is what I had found out, is that 1 cup of coffee can affect your sleep for the next 48 hours. So between 20 and 48 hours. So you add on those cups of coffee, you are not going to get that deep REM sleep that you could get if you cut out coffee. So I know it's been almost 3 years now that I have cut out coffee, and I can tell you it has changed my life.
So I don't have sleep problems. I sleep well. I've slept the same for 20 years. But I've definitely, just like I don't drink alcohol, I drink mocktails. I've thought a lot about switching to decaf. And I started drinking more coffee when I cut out alcohol, like 4 years ago. I don't know. It's just, you like to have something different than water. And I already drink a gallon of water a day. So I drink shitloads of water. So it's nice to have like a little something else. And I don't want to drink pop or anything. So coffee's where it's at because it has like no calories and it's just a little flavor. But I've definitely thought many times, and now even more so since Rose told me to switch over to decaf just so that we don't have all that caffeine. Awesome tip. All right, Rose, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
So as a mother of 2 little ones and, just already overwhelmed with my life, I heard that tip from someone, and I had also already cut out alcohol. And I said, okay, I need to do something else.
How long
that's
sober
drastic,
are you?
that's going to help me. 2 years from August.
Hell yeah.
So I know. I saw we're very close in times. 2 years as
Just
of
want to
August.
make sure
So
everyone
over
else
2
heard
years
that.
now.
We like to have that on air. All right, 2 years sober. Keep going. Sorry, Rose.
Yes, absolutely. So I had already done that step, and I was like, how can I step it up even more? I heard about the 48 hours for
That's
sleep.
crazy.
And as a mom, I knew I needed to take advantage of that. And so I tried it. It was the most horrible experience ever. I've never done drugs in my life, but if I had, it would have felt like a drug detox. It took 4 days of body cramps and hot. It was horrible. Alcohol was no problem. Took one moment of my father passing that I was like, nope, done with that. But the coffee, because I had so much coffee each day, at least, and to me it was a lot. I had, between 4 to 5 cups a day. So cutting that out, my body really freaked out.
Awesome. All right, Rose, we're going to move on to our next guest. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Glen. Glen, tell us, who are you?
Hey, Austin, thanks for having me. I'm Glen Lubert. I'm the CEO of Stamina Lab. I'm also co-founder of Stamina Lab, where we help people sleep better, stress less, and have lasting health change. And we do this through an evidence-based, solution-focused approach to behavior change and better health that works even when life gets messy. And what we do differently is, instead of going down a root cause analysis of trying to solve the problem, we build from the skills and evidence that you have the capacity for change, so the things that you are already doing well. And this is what really leads to lasting change. And so we've been doing this now at Stamina Lab for 5 years and helping thousands of people, different organizations, improve their health and well-being. Personally, I'm training for a marathon, so sleep and recovery is so important to the process. And so I'm very keen on really how sleep can be at the center of your life.
Fascinating. All right, I've got an important question. If I wanted to improve my physical health with sleep, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
I tell you, if you can't fall asleep or if you wake up in the middle of the night, tell yourself that's okay. And really, that's what is different than what is told to other people, which is to get out of bed and disassociate yourself from the sleep because you don't want to connect the bad sleep or the not being able to sleep. But really, when you just tell yourself, it's okay, I'm getting rest. And that's when you expand from sleep to sleeping to sleep and recovery or sleep and rest. And when you tell yourself, it's okay, I'm still getting rest. And if you don't if you don't get to sleep, then you're going to sleep better the next night for sure. But mostly what happens is it calms your nervous system down enough and says, you know what, it is okay. I'm just getting rest and I'm calm. And then many times people just fall asleep from that. So it's counterintuitive to what you had told before, but really it makes a lot of sense just to say it's okay.
All right, fascinating. Where in your life journey did you learn this tip?
Well, I ran a startup for many, many years, and this is my second startup. And I ran into a bout of insomnia, burnout type situation. And there was a long month where I really wasn't able to get much sleep. And I really dug deep and that's why I said, put sleep at the center of my life and learned about nervous system management and breath work and just laying there and trying to calm my nervous system. And when I learned that, I was just trying to breathe and calm my nervous system, and I just told myself, okay, yeah, this is okay. I'm getting rest, and that's okay. So I stumbled upon it, but it comes out of acceptance and commitment therapy for insomnia. To say, just accept it's okay, and that there's plenty of science and evidence-based research behind this, and I stumbled upon it myself. And when I tell people this, we get feedback all the time that like, wow, you're the sleep whisperer. This is so amazing that if I just tell myself it's okay, it often calms your nervous system enough to allow you to fall asleep.
Awesome. I love it, Glenn. All right, it's time to bring everyone out for the round robin here. We'll bring Rose back out and Brian back out, and we'll start off with Brian. Can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
Yeah, don't hit the snooze button. Get up, get moving in the morning, and start your day.
All right, I love it. Rose, what are your thoughts on that tip?
Absolutely. If you jump out of bed, then you're starting off your morning with energy. If you press that snooze button, you're starting off in a slump. So which kind of day do you want to have? Starts right there at the beginning of your morning.
So that's kind of more the mentality side. Well, Glenn, tell us what your thoughts on that tip are. It sounds like it's the opposite, correct?
No, I love this tip. It's it's telling yourself right at the beginning of the day, I'm committed to making my decision that I want to make, that I want to excel for the day. It's like making your bed in the morning too, as well. If you at the very least you've done a good decision at the beginning of the morning, sets up the rest of your day. That says, hey, hey, at least I came back to my bed that I have made. So I love that. Don't hit the snooze button. Get up, make that first performance decision of the day.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Rose, refresh us what your tip was.
So my tip was to cut out coffee because it can affect your sleep. And the truth is that I haven't found anything that has supported my 48 hours, but it was okay because it helped me get over it. And so whatever you need to tell yourself to make a good habit, do it.
Yeah, I think the half-life I've heard is like 6 hours, maybe 4 to 6, but I'm not well-versed on that. I just drink it. Glenn, what are your thoughts on Rose's tip?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their lifestyle choices that they want, and everyone has their thing that they use. So, if you use coffee especially as a performance enhancer, I think it's a great tool. But like you said, be aware that it does have a half-life and have a cutoff some point in the day. Usually, the earlier the better. If it's 2 o'clock, depending on how you go to bed. But for me, it's usually noon that I cut my caffeine off, and I usually go for a lighter caffeine like a green tea, so it's even got a less of an impact on my sleep.
All right, Brian, what are your thoughts on Rose's tip?
Cheers.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. We need to leverage caffeine and coffee. It's certainly just being a health coach for so long. The simple question is, so do you drink more coffee than water? And if that's the case, then we have a problem, right? There's the relationship with caffeine or coffee or using it for whatever reason we might need to break. I do enjoy coffee. I usually do one in the morning, one around 2-ish. It gives me steady energy to keep up with my 4 kids and all the life demands of being a self-employed, clients, blah, blah, blah. But I do take occasional breaks where I'll go multiple days without it to just say refresh the system in a sense. So using it in a way that you can leverage for sport performance. I've used caffeine pills in races that I've done, marathons, triathlons, and such. Makes total sense. But if it's your crutch to get you through the day, there's a lot of other things that are not going well that need addressed. So I totally agree with Rose. And if the 48-hour thing is the whatever it is that you need to get you to connect to saying, okay, I can't do this, then perfect. We all need some reason or excuse or something to get us to follow through on taking action.
All right, guys, let's talk. Glenn, can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yeah, mine was if you can't fall asleep or if you wake up in the middle of the night, tell yourself it's okay.
Rose, what are your thoughts on that tip?
Yeah, I mean, the moment you start beating yourself up, that's not going to help you go back to sleep. So just embracing, just like we embrace any obstacle, just embrace your restlessness and, come up with a strategy to soothe yourself. My littlest one, she's a thumb sucker at anything you can do to soothe yourself back. But just having that mindset of rest is equally as good, is a great way to start.
I love it. Brian, what are your thoughts on Glenn's tip?
Yeah, totally. I have so many people that wake up and the mind starts racing around, and that's not productive. It's not helpful. It doesn't get you back to sleep, that's for sure. And then trying to figure out why or how or what is the reason that I'm waking up. Often in my world, people just aren't moving enough. So they're mentally exhausted, but not physically tired at all. And getting them to be more active can actually make their bodies actually want and crave rest. So I think Glenn's onto something with this for sure.
I like to do so much in the day that I just pass out when I get home.
Yeah, me too.
My life goal. All right, guys, let's talk more about let's just focus physical health, sleep, right? All right, so we know we need sleep. For people that maybe, let's think, insomnia or it's somewhat difficult to sleep, what are ways, tips, and tricks that you have that can help you fall asleep faster that aren't dependent? Like, I feel like melatonin. I feel like when I started taking that years ago, I ended up not being able to sleep without it. But give me some tips and tricks. How do you guys fall asleep when you can't?
I got one. The one that I love to do, certainly we can read books, but then that can be a movie playing in your head that causes you to just run away with the scenery, or if it's a good writer, they want you to read the next chapter. So you get caught up in it and stay up too late anyways. But I like playing Sudoku. Silly enough, my brain starts thinking about numbers. What number goes in that box? And I shut out any and every other thing. So I cause my brain to be occupied in something, in thought and looking for patterns of behaviors, but it is so different from any other thought patterns that I've done in the day that it's just something I look forward to and enjoy. And I usually fall asleep within 5 minutes, and my wife's staring at me angrily upset and jealous that I'm already asleep and she's up for who knows how long.
All right. Any other tips or thoughts on that tip?
I would say cutting off electronics at least an hour. This is a tip I've heard so many times, and anytime I do use it, it works. And anytime I don't, I stay up, binge watching or watching a movie night, and me and my kids are all wired up. So I see the difference, the stark difference when I do use that tip and when I don't.
All right, that's a good one.
Yeah, for me, I would say notice the times when you do sleep a little bit better, or not as bad, and notice what you had done that night before. Instead of going down that, like Brian says, trying to figure out why you're sleeping and doing that root cause, and that can just eat you up in your thinking. Just notice the times that you do sleep a little bit better. And our lives are all different. We all do different routines and different things. But so the days that you do sleep a little bit better, just notice what you did that day before. And then ask yourself, what's one thing I could do tonight or today that's going to help me that will sleep a little bit better.
Okay. So for the people that can't sleep, I guess, there's a lot of good tips in here. How do you guys make sure, how much do you sleep, and how do you make sure you sleep that much?
Well, I track. I have a bed that tracks my sleep, and so that's one way to tell how you're sleeping. But
It's a
I think
bed
people,
or is it a wearable?
it's a bed. It's called the 8 Sleep bed. So it actually changes the temperature of my bed. Like I said, I put sleep at the center of my life. So there's a lot that goes into making
So
sure
after
that
8 hours, it like jolts you up, throws you out.
it can if you want to. You can have it set up for that. But I
Oh my.
normally wake up naturally at this point. Um, the but the data that you get, some people get anxiety around the data. Do I sleep my 8 hours? Do I sleep my 7 hours? And what was my sleep score? And so for me, it's fun. I find that interesting. But for a lot of people, that can really drive even more insomnia. So what we like to ask our clients is to check in with yourself first. What's your readiness score when you get up in the morning, more than what the data says, and then rather looking at the data from, like I said before, of when I slept poorly, why did I sleep poorly? Look at the data when you slept well, or even just a little bit better, and notice what you did on those days. Just keep it looking and noticing on the times when you do sleep a little bit better, but if you track it.
All right. Any last little bits before we go to our daily challenge?
I would say also.
Yeah, I would just say.
Go ahead, Rose.
Go ahead. I would just say I go to sleep earlier, and then I wear my watch so I can track it. I like to be able to see how I slept the night before, to go to sleep even earlier the next night.
For me, just going on to the insomnia and such, if you are dealing with some severe sleep issues, then you definitely need to have a qualified professional sleep studies. Maybe there's some sleep apnea. Maybe you need to do the popular magnetic nose strip or whatnot. But you do need to go look into that and actually spend time, energy, effort, and money to problem solve that, because sleep is such a bedrock of our existence. And then also maybe look at the quality of your life. Maybe you're going too fast to keep up, and that's why you're not sleeping well, and you actually need to slow things down, dial it back 5 notches in a sense, to be able to just chill. Just chill.
All right, guys, it is that point in the show where we need to come up with our daily challenge. This is a task that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone in the world in order to improve our physical health with sleep. What ideas do you have?
Well, my challenge is to either cut out coffee or to go to decaf for 30 days. That's my challenge.
Yeah,
My challenge.
See how you...
Good, Brian.
My challenge would be to set your alarm device, typically a phone, across the room. It forces you to disengage from it at a certain time. You have to physically get up out of bed to turn it off. And it forces that activation energy that you either decide to get up and get your day going, or you decide to hit the snooze button. So put your phone across the room. There you go.
I've been doing that a lot lately, and I do like it. Where you
Maybe
get
it's a
up,
good
and
one.
instead of being able to just roll over and grab it, you're like, all right, well, am I ready to get up, or am I going back to sleep? Oh, we're going. Let's do it.
Yeah, for me, I would say it's just like we set an alarm for the morning, set an alarm for the evening. Our evenings can just get away from us, and all of a sudden it's later than we want it to be for going to bed. So set an alarm that, hey, this is your wind down time for the evening. That's maybe when you're going to put electronics away or start maybe take a shower, whatever your wind down routine is.
Yeah.
Let's set an alarm for that.
Run a couple miles, whatever you do to get ready for bed.
Whatever you need, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good tip to kind of set it at, if you want to be asleep by 11, set it at like 10 or 10:30 and be like, all right, now it's time to brush my teeth, get off Facebook, all that kind of stuff. That's a pretty good little challenge there. And then, like Rose said, get off electronics and reduce your coffee. So that would only be for coffee drinkers, which I feel like is most people. I guess we'll just stick in, like, be more mindful of your caffeine intake.
Yeah.
I feel like enough people drink some sort of caffeine throughout the day that this could be a good challenge. So if you are drinking 10 cups, let's reduce that to 8. If you're drinking 1 cup, I guess drink it earlier. If you're chugging monsters, let's reduce some monsters and just be mindful of that. I think that's a pretty good idea because a lot of people don't think coffee really has a side effect, but if it's a 48-hour half-life, that would be a massive side effect. But I think it's a little bit less. I don't know. We'll find out.
I'd add around that coffee thing to take away the guilt of drinking your coffee is when you do drink any amount of coffee, ask yourself, what kept you from drinking even another cup? And that's where you're going to find the strength that you had inside you, the self-efficacy that I have the ability to make these changes. So why didn't you drink, if you had 4, why didn't you drink 5? Or if you had 1, why didn't you drink 2?
One thing I do as well with coffee is I water it down. I'll just add some filtered water to it just to make it less caffeinated per drink. Just so, because I really don't drink for the caffeine. I just drink to have something else there. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to put y'all backstage and we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much, Brian, Glenn, and Rose. And thank you all so much for watching. We have a daily challenge of before you go to bed, you're going to have to set an alarm 30 minutes beforehand to let your brain activate or deactivate, I guess, and start winding down for your get ready for bed routine. You're going to sleep with your phone at least 10 feet away so that when you do wake up, it's not roll over, waste a half an hour scrolling. You either have to get up, or roll back over and stop. And caffeine. If you can go cold turkey and cut out all caffeine, that's the ultimate goal. But if not, at least be mindful, reduce it, maybe reduce it by 10% or 20%, and just think more about it. Maybe you're watering down your coffee, watering down your Red Bulls, whatever it is. Just be confident or be conscious of